What's up, everybody? Renfail here, and I'm going to be answering a question today that I get asked a lot, which is, when are you ever going to do a multi-class video? And the answer to that is simple: I won't. And there's a reason for that. I'd like to talk about the reason, and hopefully not offend anybody, because if you like to multi-class, that's entirely up to you. If that's the way you want to play, then go for it. Larian provided you with that option, so you should definitely take advantage of it if you want to. That's one of the beautiful things about 5th edition is the different arrays of combinations you can do, and Larian taking that a step further and letting you multi-class every single different class you want from level 1 to 12. So you could have literally 12 different classes combined into one character if you wanted to. But I don't multi-class for a very specific reason. And that's because I want to play the game and the characters that were designed for the game in the way that they were designed. I'm a writer myself. I've been doing this for a long time, 20 million words in print. I've authored a few books. I've worked on all sorts of different projects over the years, games, comic books, TV shows, just all sorts of different stuff. Um, I am someone who, if I want someone to take a journey and I'm going to write a story that I want them to read, then I want those people taking the journey with the characters in the way that I designed that story to take place. This is especially true of a film experience, as an example. I'm not asking users to sit down and create their own version of a movie. I wrote the characters this way. I wrote the chapters this way for the book or whatever. I wrote things and created things a specific way, and I want those things to be experienced in the way that I created them. Now, it's a little different here when you're looking at a game that's going to have a lot of replayability. So it might be a little more strict in the sense of, say, if I was talking about God of War or Star Wars Jedi Survivor as examples, because those are games that are very linear, and you're kind of going to have the same experience each time you go through, even though you might unlock some more cosmetics or things like that. But in the case of a game like Baldur's Gate 1, Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate 3, other CRPGs like this, the replayability is one of the things that people love about these games, to be able to come in and try different combos out, and that's great. But that whole aspect of the storytelling and creation side of things that I just described is at the heart of who I am as a person. And so I don't ever want to experience the origin characters of Baldur's Gate 3 as anything other than what Larian wanted them to be. Because here's the thing, I look at the totality of what went into creating even just one of these amazing characters. We're talking tens of thousands of man hours when it comes to the design of the look of the character, the design of the story of the character, the writing, and the different polish passes that those characters went through, the voice acting and motion capture performance, which go hand in hand, and the dozens of takes that were required for each scene throughout the thousands of scenes that are in this game, the 17,000 different permutations that exist depending on what combination of things you take through. Those are all things that I have too much respect for as a writer to want to throw to the side. And some people will say, well, specking Shadowheart to a different type of cleric other than the trickster cleric that she is designed as, that's not really changing that much. You're certainly welcome to that opinion, and you can absolutely play that way, but I can't. I can't do that. I know that Shadowheart, as an example, was written as a dark justiciar of Shar, with that in her background, all of the things, the complexity that she brings to the table, she is meant to be a trickster cleric. Like, that's just who she is. It's how she was written. The moment that you take that away from her, her storyline no longer makes sense. And suddenly all the tens of thousands of hours of hard work that went into perfecting her character has now been thrown out the window. And that's something that I personally don't enjoy. I want these characters to be the way that Larian wrote them so that I can experience them in the way that they were intended to be done. So at the very least, for my first several playthroughs, I'm going to play these characters the way that they were written. So my first playthrough, as an example, I have Lae'zel, Shadowheart, who I romanced, and Gale. And I am playing those characters exactly as they were out of the box, exactly the way they were designed. Gale's Evocation, Lae'zel, I went Eldritch Knight, and she was Shadowheart was the trickster cleric. Happy to take them all the way through in those storylines because that's the way they were designed. My other playthrough that I'm working on right now simultaneously is the Drow Sorcerer. And for that party, I have Karlak, who's going just full up Berserker. And then we have Will, who is Warlock, right? And I am currently with Shadowheart, but she will get replaced with Halson, who will eventually get replaced with Jaheira, who I plan to make the full party member is going to be Jaheira as we go through the third act of the game, which is huge compared to the first two. So I'm primarily interested in the romance option with Karlak with that particular playthrough. And then eventually I will get to my rogue playthrough and my ranger playthrough. And those playthroughs, I will take different combinations of characters to see how their stories play out. Because here's the thing, like one of the things that just happened this morning, spoiler alert, for those of you who might not have played through Act 1 yet, but this is just spoiler alert, you've been warned. There is a moment in the early parts of Act 1, I would say around the time you get to level 5 or so, you're going down to the Underdark. I guess it's like midway through Act 1. And Lae'zel and Shadowheart are going to have a confrontation in your camp. Now, my primary playthrough, I stepped in and was like, all right, cat fight, break it up. But this playthrough, I quick saved before it happened, and I let it play out, and I was shocked to find out that Shadowheart literally stabs Lae'zel in the neck and kills her. Like, and I was like, whoa, 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 that's not how I want to play my game. Reload. Whereas other people might be happy to sacrifice Lae'zel and play that playthrough without her in the party. Quick commercial break, everyone, to give a shout out to our first official guild officer, Babylonia, as well as all of the guild champions, and of course, all of the members who help keep me on the air full time. To join as a member, simply click that join button below and pick your tier, but you can also support with SuperChats on any live stream or premiere, or SuperThanks on any upload or YouTube short. Don't forget the Discord. Let's get back to the video. That's one of those things that to me is incredible that this game allows you to have those types of scenarios and variables. But that only happens if you have those characters with you and you're playing them in the way that they were intended to be played. If you take them too off the book, their storylines don't make sense anymore, their motives don't make sense anymore, their alignments don't make sense anymore. Like as an example, like Shadowheart is meant to have, and again, spoiler alert here, everybody. Shadowheart, again, big spoiler alert, please be warned. Shadowheart is meant to have this huge epic journey, and it can go a lot of different ways. The way that I chose with my primary playthrough, because I'm a good guy character, and I chose to bring her along, and we've seen her through to where she became a Selûnite and got rid of Shar, and her hair changed color, and she found her parents, and all these different things. Those are all actions that make no sense whatsoever if I re-rolled Shadowheart as a cleric and took her as a paladin instead, or if I made her a warlock, or because suddenly her affiliation with the Church of Shar makes no sense if she wasn't training to be a Jark Justiciar, given the head cleric and what they were grooming her to be with the mistress of Shar and the daughter and the leader of the church, everything else. That her whole storyline was about her being groomed for that experience. And if you multi-class, or if you change the class of Shadowheart, you have now completely stripped all that storyline out of the equation, and it's just not there anymore. And for me, that's the reason I don't multi-class, I don't change their class, I play characters out of the box. And maybe when I'm on, if I ever get to the point where I'm on my 10th playthrough and I'm just looking to shake things up, I might get around to multi-classing and respecking characters at that point in time, but not for my first 4 or 5 playthroughs. I'm playing things by the book, the characters as they were meant to be played with different combinations. But there's a lot of characters to take through the game, and so I want to experience them as they were written in all of their glory. That's a personal preference. I realize I'm not everyone, but I wanted to answer that question because, yeah, I won't be doing multiplayer guides, or multi-class, excuse me. I won't be doing multi-class or respec guides anytime soon on my channel because I just don't. hopefully that answers your questions. Anyway, if you like my content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Daily streams at 11 a.m. Lots of other playlists. Check them all out. Check the Discord out. Member videos as well. We'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe.